Am I at one with them? 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 Those perceptions you tightly rely on tend to lie, it's true. Strong men often die long before they are placed in a coffin. These false egos that we wear are so tightly fit, but they're so rotten. Underground kings are unaware of their worth and they want to blossom, but they're so fearful of being labelled sweet, fragrant flower boys. So they start rebelling, they start rocking. Twisted swagger jaggers taking the mick, trying to uphold their absent father's legacy. Motivated by the streets and their peers who pressed them to be street generals, broken by PTSD. At early ages, we became aware of what real war was. Created as each other's worst enemy from early, the front line held down like a fortress to protect and uphold the one thing that will never leave them. Self-convinced that they are bad to the bone, so they seek approval from hood commanders to no longer feel alone. Ask yourself, am I at one with them? Am I at one with them? Am I at one with them? A life which appears so finely stitched can still be undone. Do you trust your tailors? Am I at one with them? Am I at one with them?
Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers. Welcome to Double Cabbage.
Double Cabbage, okay. Cool.
So we're hoping to be the guide, or maybe the handbook to creativity. So this week, or this month rather, we're starting with the fall, which is the fall into creativity. What stops you, like maybe it's mental or physical, but there's things or reasons behind what stops you from entering or sharing your art. But then there's also maybe an event that happens in your life, maybe it's within you or an existential thing outside, and that's what makes you like, do you know what, I can't just sit here anymore and just write this down and not share it with anyone. I need to get it out there. So there's always those moments. So that's what I want to talk about today. So
All that jazz.
now we can actually get onto the conversation.
Cool. Yeah. Cool.
What does the idea of the fall mean to you guys?
I feel like I'm in a fall, like that place at the moment.
Okay.
Like a fall. I feel like I've dipped in my, I feel like a dip in my creativity.
Okay. Is that a good dip or a bad dip?
I feel like it's a bad dip for my creativity. Like I can't, right now I'm not writing at the moment.
Okay.
But like, there's other areas of my life that are sorting themselves out, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like that's sort of needed.
Yeah.
And that's why it's happened.
Okay, fair.
As well, like, I feel like, you know, obviously there's always like, there's reasons for everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's cause and effect. So I feel like, just the whole, the effect of this dip is for me to sort my life out, really.
Yeah.
Basically just sort of, because a lot of stuff had happened previous to this that actually, you know, it's just a spiral of events, really.
Yeah. But I mean, not writing isn't always a bad thing. It's kind of, it could be seen as a time of reflection, I guess.
Very
so
true.
when you do go back to the writing,
It's
That's real.
Yeah.
never.
That's real.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's real. No, on that point actually, I used to follow a lot of Facebook pages and stuff, and groups, and there's like one writing Facebook page that I followed, which is always like, keep on writing, you know, even if you're tired of this, you know, keep on writing, keep on going. And I remember just like scrolling through my Facebook, you know, week after week, kind of like seeing these posts all the time, and starting to eventually get sick of it, you know, getting to a point where it's like literally I am sorting out other bits of my life. That's cool, you know, I don't need to be writing right now, but I'm seeing this constant reminder, so I had to eventually unfollow it all. Because I felt like that actually contributed to a fall. You're seeing, it's almost like it's almost like a social media thing then.
Yeah.
Like we have around us all the time, we have this image that we have to uphold or we have to follow, you know. Gotta be this certain way. But even within the artistic or creative community, we still have the same thing. You know, you've got to be expressing yourself all the time. You can't just be living your life.
Yeah, it's true.
So I kind of got to a point where, I got depressed. I was upset. I was low. So I was like, I'm not creating the same material that I thought I could have. You know, and yeah, man, that was my specific fall. But now coming out of that, being out of that, I'm aware that there's so much more to being an artist and say that line that you started off the podcast with again.
The lens through which we are looking at things is of growth.
There we go. Yeah, so that's actually quite powerful in terms of the perspective. Yeah, the perspective which you use has a massive impact on that. Yeah.
I feel like on like off that, like what you were saying something about like just sort of real like under like well thinking that you can't create something that in your mind like you had like an idea and then like it's not like matching the whole like you know the paper and, I feel like I've been through that a lot, obviously, like SCM and Flow, the dips and, you know, the peaks and troughs of being a creative, innit? And it's like, I feel that's, you like, just learning acceptance of like, of sort of, you know, what you have and what you write is like, is all you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, it's sort of just like, whatever you're going through at the current time, whatever that emotion or whatever the subject, the topic is, it's always going to come out whatever way, innit? And that mental image that you have in your head, like I feel like I'm in a sort of a similar situation at the moment as well, with like sort of just how I'm like, you know what, I'm seeing all these amazing creators around me, and it's like, you know, like.
But that should be your inspiration.
It's very true,
Yeah.
and I'm learning like that's the acceptance of it.
Don't you think it's kind of, I don't know, maybe an issue that we have in the performing arts industry, that we put everyone who should be our colleague as our competition? And that's like, I think that's a crazy thing. Like even you see it more in like when I went to drama school, like everyone's fighting against each other, trying to be in the highest group and stuff like that. But really, like down the line, if you're being horrible to this guy, what if you're on the set and then you're like, oh, that's my man from drama school, but you were rude to him, so that he's the director now. Come in, it's all different. Like, so I mean, you need to look at it. Like my mum always said to me, like these people that you're working with, be nice to everyone because you don't know where you're going to see these people in the future. You know.
That's it. I feel like in the situation I'm in now, it's a very much me thing.
Okay.
It's a very much like, you know what, like. But actually now, okay, I say that, but then again, I've had some amazing advice from like two people, like two friends in my life, and it's like, alright, you know what, like, damn, they are talking some real stuff, and I needed to hear that. Like at that present moment in time, it's like, oh, you know, like fully like,
like a shock to your senses.
Literally just like I just needed to hear that at that exact moment, because any other moment I wouldn't have took it. It's like that, like, and like I feel like it's a personal journey at the same time. People can enter into a personal journey,
help guide you, I guess, in a sense.
I think it's just a thing of like personally. Just witnessing people as well going into it, kind of seeing where my friends and stuff have gone into it, and also being in it myself. I've been aware that, you know, for myself, it was a thing of, I was aware that sometimes it happened, sometimes it didn't happen, you know, as it happens. That when you're in that place, in that fall, having people who accept you and love you in that space, as opposed to trying to, you know, get a fishing rod and metaphysically like get you out of that place, you know, accepting you and loving you when you're in your darkness. So that you're like, this is cool, like I'm alright, you know, like, because when you're in that place yourself, you're already not thinking straight, you're already not thinking great. So if someone's then saying, you know, you're not thinking straight, you're not thinking great, you have the external and the internal both kind of telling you you're messed up, then, so just accepting, if answering your question, if I could have any help with that, or helping anybody, it would be accepting them, loving them, supporting them, just spending time with them in silence as well. They're really powerful
Yeah,
things.
Very
Yeah,
powerful.
spending time with people in silence, which is nice.
That's nice, actually. You know, like, it's kind of weird if you think about that kind of subject, like, just chilling with someone, the music's just playing, no one's saying nothing to anyone, but it's just company.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I like, you know what, it's nice because like, I love that on phone calls, like, I feel like with some certain friends and that I can just like...
The real conversations, man. Yeah, nah, for real.
So, did you say something? No.
Literally just like, yeah, in silence, and I feel like completely like just happy and safe.
Yeah.
In that phone call, just like,
It's cool, yeah.
just love, like, for real.
So, back to the idea of falling and love even. Is it more something that you have to love yourself to be able to share with other people, or can you do it from a dark place and not feel any love or connection to anyone and still be able to share? Is that a place that you can enter the fall from? Is that an event maybe? Or
I can definitely share from a dark place. I've definitely shared from a dark place, and I feel that's lifted.
it makes you feel better?
Yeah.
Same.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, like I remember just like on stage, like in tears, and like I was like, oh, raw,
This
like,
is
this is raw emotion, isn't it? And it's like, yeah, like, but it needed, as I said, like, it needs to happen. Everything needs to happen. You know, just like that whole event was like, it was mad for me because I was like, well, I'm actually living this emotion right now. I was just writing it before.
Do you find like when you write things down, it's kind of a release for you?
Yeah.
Like, I was speaking to someone on Monday. They said writing a poem is like a one-night stand, whereas a novel is like a long-term commitment.
Bars.
And I thought about that. I thought about that, and I was like, jeez, it's real thoughts. Like when I write, I thought about that. When I write a poem, I'm like, all these thoughts are now not in my head, and they're now here. I can revisit you later.
I like that. Yeah. No, I've been having difficulty with that one actually. Yeah.
So do you find it writing is better, or helps you get things out, or even if maybe in time if you don't write something, maybe you're not looking to write a poem, you're just venting, getting things out.
I tend to write through my body. I tend to like to dance more when I'm if I'm venting, if I'm getting stuff out. I can write. It depends on like what frame of mind I'm in.
Okay.
But normally when I'm at home or wherever I am, sometimes I'm even unaware of it. Even when I'm up performing poetry, sometimes I'm aware that I'm dancing because that's more my way of expressing negative emotion or any emotion which needs to get out, which I'm currently suppressing, or so that is the way which I'll get it out, normally through movement more than words.
I agree with that. Like when I used to dance a lot, that was my way.
Yeah.
I was just in my conservatory blasting poetry. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's like, isn't it? Just like literally, just like because it's more like you're pushing like that whole like negative emotion out of you. Like every move you do, like boom, you're just like that whole emotion is out of your arms. All this, I'm like, what? Like it's an amazing feeling. It is an amazing feeling. I haven't answered.
So if I wanted to take it back, right? So what was the moment for both of you that that made you decide that it was more than just learning about your craft or just kind of doing it in the background? What was it that made you feel like, I need to share this with the world, or share this with more people than my inner group?
When I did my degree in acting, again, retelling other people's stories, reading a script and having to play roles which people thought were representative of me but really weren't. So like playing the stereotype of the gangbanger or the basketball player or the cool black friend, or all of these roles which in my final year of doing acting and film, that specific area of things, they were giving me these scripts, literally handing them to me, and I was like, So when it got to that point, and I share this with a lot of people, I that point really brought me to a point that I thought, I need to share my own story. I need to share my own story. Make sure it's clear. Make sure people see that there's so many more dimensions to me than just being the cool black friend or the basketball player or the gangbang or all of these different things, and just making people aware of different archetypes that are out there, especially with black people. So that was a specific thing that I did, and ever since then, I guess sharing my stuff with people and like witnessing the release from hearing me release has been something which I've been like
inspiration.
Yeah, I have to continue it, because it's not about me anymore. It's about like empowering others and inspiring others, and
very true. That's very true. I feel like for me, the whole like sharing with other people, I don't really remember like how I got to that point. I remember the point I got, like the actual point of sharing, and it was like, oh my gosh, I was literally on the stage at like my local open night where I live in Slough, and it's literally just I was holding my phone. It wasn't even paper. I think I was holding my phone. I was like, literally, it was all mad, and it was faster than that. Yeah, and I was like, stuttering it was all mad, but like literally just from the encouragement of the crowd, and like, the people that I knew there, and just sort of like getting past that whole thing.
Yeah.
That was like a really, really defining moment for me. It changed like a whole it did change my whole life, because before that, public speaking was something that I did. Like, I just, the whole like speaking, saying anything, even in front of public, like,
So what brought you to the point of wanting to like?
That's, like, I feel, if anything, it was probably pent up emotion. Yeah, it was literally just like things that were needed to be said, but I couldn't say them any other way.
Okay.
Like, it was like poetry I had sort of delved in, or not even delved into, I attempted in school. It was like,
the anthology,
It was like creative writing in school was probably the moment I was like, alright, cool. This is quite nice. And literally, like, I would hear my teachers or my parents, like my parents just sort of say like, oh, really good, Andrew. And I was like, thank you. But it never clicked, and then just obviously a lot of pent up emotion, a lot of thoughts in my head that needed to have been said. They were said.
Yeah. I forgot what I was gonna say now. I was gonna say that I feel kind of like, for me, the event, if anything, that kind of brought me into more creativity was literally poetry and performing in open mics. Because before that, I was always learning. This is always what I've wanted to do. I've always wanted to perform and creativity and stuff like that. But before that, I think I remember this specifically. There was a class I had in drama school where we were doing this exercise where people would look at you and they would like kind of, just by looking at your eyes for 10 minutes, they would kind of get a sense of what you're going through. And this guy said to me, he said, it looks like you have a lot of things inside of you that you don't know how to let out. And I was like, that's literally exactly it. And then it was after I left Identity Drama School, then I went to, I think I did my first open mic, and the reason why I did my first open mic was, it was after my dad passed away, and then I had this crazy thing that happened afterwards, and it's something that made me think about my life, and I was like, what am I gonna do with this now? I felt like I was just coasting in life. I was like, I can't just coast. I always said to people that it's nothing worse than if you're talented and you don't do anything with your talent. Like I said, I literally wouldn't be here. That's what I was saying. I literally would not be here if I hadn't have taken that step on that first day. That's how crazy it is.
And I feel like none of us.
So yeah,
it's like that whole event, that whole winding path that life is like, every single thing that we've done in our life has led to this moment.
Exactly.
And even this moment is leading to another moment.
This moments lead to a fall.
Exactly.
Hey.
Yeah.
Tell the truth.
The fall.
The fall.
It can be negative, falling over and hitting your face, you know.
Ouch.
But you have to take that risk. Like, you know,
You have to.
you have to be willing to trip. You have to be willing to fail. That is what.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You need to be willing to fail.
in order to rise.
Because that's all 100% of businesses or just performers or even creative. If you speak, I'm sure if you speak to like the top guys who are out there, they didn't just write this amazing song and then just blow. Someone did, like maybe like one hit wonders, but like I'm sure they would, like in the background they were dropping mixtapes. No one knew who they were. They would, like, you know what I mean. And before they just suddenly, and now they're popular. But a lot of the time you look at artists and they're like, or performers, you're like, where did this person come from? Like, why is it not me? But it's not about that. Everyone's on a different journey. Maybe your journey isn't to be, I don't know, the next Robin Williams, but your dream might be to inspire people to help them get up to that point. Or you're just maybe in the little One Away episode on ITV, but someone watches that and they're like, "Rah, see that guy? I want to be like him," you know?
Yeah.
Tupac said something like, might paraphrase, but I may not change the world, but if I spark the mind of the young person who does change the world, that means everything. You know, like literally,
That's
just
it.
like not. It's not about me.
Yeah.
It's about me, like going on a journey. It's not about me. It's about me going on a journey. It's not about me. It's about me going on a journey and inspiring, empowering those who then will then turn around and continue to change the world.
Yeah,
The world
exactly.
being changed is not like a single event. Now. It's like a consistent thing which needs to happen.
It's about giving back.
Yeah, for real, man. For real. So, yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I would. What about not being logical about things?
In terms of
Being like, why have we got this far? Like, no one's asked about Double Cabbage. No one's curious.
that's what is Double Cabbage?
That's what was the segue logical.
What is
Double. What does it mean?
Our name is
What does it mean to you, Scott?
what does it mean to me? A lot of nonsense, to be honest.
Why?
Like that. I feel like the name means to me that it could be like two opposing ideas or concepts, but a lot of nonsense in between.
With lots of layers.
Yes. Yeah, like onions.
Indeed.
Okay, I like. All right. Yeah.
What about you, Solomon?
Slightly. See, double cabbage, and then like. I was just gonna say, I went Subway before I got here, and then as I walked through the door, you guys were already set up, so I thought I'd have time to eat, but there's no cabbage in my sub, but there's lettuce. So, you know, like, Subway is food is nutrition, so something along them lines of like, I like the layer thing though, the layer thing made sense immediately, but I had to just be honest about what I was thinking it was about.
Subway.
Food. Subway. Yeah. It's double
lettuce.
Double lettuce. Double lettuce. Oh man, I'm gonna enjoy that. I'm gonna try that even more now when I'm biting into it.
So back to logically and metaphorically speaking.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be logical when you're entering the game. Like,
sports.
literally, you can't be. You can't think of it like there must be like certain rules I have to follow. I mean, you can watch someone else, someone else's talent or someone else doing creative things and learn off them, but you're only gonna learn for yourself by doing.
Yeah, true. I feel that. I don't feel like there is any rules in the poetry seen that there is different types of poetry, and there may be rules to these different types of poetry, like, you know, ground rules, base rules, like sort of how people see it. Really, it's more of a
foundation.
concept. Yeah, it's like it's more of actual like a just sort of like a human concept of how it should be.
Yeah, I mean you can do your own twist of
Exactly,
it, but it's not like
and
a haiku. There's 3 lines.
yeah,
You know, the syllables are in there. You can't add an extra syllable in there and still try and call it a haiku.
yeah, it's true. It's very true.
But the
like,
concept is still staying there.
Like the concept is like that. Like poetry is, I think for me, poetry is like just venting.
Yeah.
It's literally us just sort of, it's emotion on paper.
I think it's deeper than that. It's more of a thing where you're trying to make a connection with other people, and you're also trying to ask the question like, do you guys feel this too? And you just don't want to feel alone.
Hey, yeah.
So if when you hear other people clapping or clicking along, that's acceptance. Like that's what you do. So you're like, wow,
That's a nice one.
like people are like they agree with me, or they like what I'm coming up with, or like the direction of where I'm coming from. So even like that, from a poetry sense or a poetry night, that is really hella like inspiring. Or like even when someone laughs on a line that you're not expecting them to laugh on, you know.
We're meant to laugh there.
But it's just the human connection, I guess. Like you can't get that from just sitting in your room talking to the mirror.
You know what that reminds me of, Q? Echo. Remember the Poetical and Echo series? Yeah, cool. Alright, I'm saying that now. I'm saying it, so it's recorded, so now it has to happen. Alright, cool.
So Solomon did.
Yes, Poetical and Echo. Yeah, like an echo. But yeah, as you were saying, just like this sound being reflected in other people, this mirror effect of, you know, you being upstage, but you speaking other people's tales and stories as well. You know, the voice of the voiceless. You know, some people who don't feel confident to even jump up on an open mic and share. I can't remember. Those people who don't even feel.
The voice of the voiceless.
No, I performed at an event actually recently, which was called Voice of the Voiceless, but it was a debate on knife crime, which I shared that exact same poem, so that's why it was fresh in my mind. Voice. Yeah, I thought you guys would have heard of that term before. No, but yeah, Voice of the Voiceless, like speaking to. Yeah, it's pretty clear.
It's pretty clear.
It's going into
one thing that like I've been so a conversation I had with one of my friends probably like 2 days ago or yesterday, and it was all about finding balance.
Balance.
So literally, and balance is like now a key word for me in my life. Because like I realized my life wasn't balanced. Like it was very, very, very unbalanced. And I've been trying to find balance sort of like for a long time.
How do you find balance, or where do you go to seek balance?
I feel like I've got a couple of theories what I should be doing.
Okay.
So
do you want to share the theories with the room?
definitely. So I feel like I've been sort of putting off writing down like my daily. I have a daily thoughts or emotions.
Okay.
So one thing is daily thoughts or emotions. A diary. Okay. So many people have said you should keep a diary. You know what would be good for you? A diary. And I'm like, yeah. You know, like that.
That sounds good.
Yeah. It's just like I
do
never like I bought books. Never even written them like them. It's all right. So like,
what is it about writing a diary that's putting you off? Is it like just the idea of
the
just
effort.
I guess
I'm a lazy guy. Like, and on a real level, like I'm lazy.
Yeah.
You know, like I feel like.
What about an audio diary?
See, like that's something. Like just stuff like this is like ideas. You know that like need to be said.
Because then you can just record your daily thoughts and then play them back to you.
See,
And then there's no real effort.
There you go, man.
that's very true.
There you go.
But yeah, like so that's something I'm gonna be doing.
Next one. What was the next one? I could find a solution. It's just like this this world that we live in is kind of social media based. And it was literally a thing I was watching by J. Cole, and he was saying he took a break from social media.
Yeah.
And then he went back to it. And he thought that by him taking that break from social media, he would like kind of lose all the angst and the things and the feelings that he got from being on it. But then when he went back to it, it was like nothing had changed. Like he was just back on, he just literally took a break from social media and went straight back into all the like reactions of people feeling and how their comments and everything like that. It's just, do you think things like that affect us now in this day and age of entering into creativity? Can someone, say for example, I share, I don't know, me singing on Instagram, and then someone comments on it, you're terrible.
Love that.
Nice one.
You're terrible. That's a new term.
You know, you're trash.
You're terrible.
Like stuff like that, you know? Do you think that's like, do you think that affects you from wanting to share more, or can you, do you have to be even more thick-skinned now in this industry, do you feel?
I definitely agree with that. Agree with that. More definitely, because there's so many angles that people can actually give you criticism.
Yeah.
Whether it's constructive or not. Like just, it's all mad like that. For real, because even if like, you know, you could share it on like Instagram, then people could see it on Instagram. Share it on something else. You have way more, like, there's a whole thing. Yeah. And so I feel like, we need to, and it's not hard to be, like, it's not easy, to be thick-skinned. Like, people, you know,
it does take a lot of,
just sort of to develop that whole, like, alright, I'm doing this for me. That's one main thing, like, if you're doing it for that sort of, that reaction, really, I feel like you're already putting yourself in a bad situation.
I feel like you have to be ready for a lot of rejection.
Yeah,
because
not everyone will like your stuff.
Exactly, not everyone will like your sound, but you need to believe in yourself and trust that what you're creating is something worthy to be up there with the likes of J. Cole. Why not, you know?
He's
just,
why not?
You know?
He's just a human being.
You know, like he's just another guy.
That's the whole thing. Like, and I've been telling people, I like saying that. I like really making sure, trying to help people understand that, like, everyone is just, you know, we're just people. We're just humans. People think that, like, all these celebrities are like, oh my god, like, you know, like, he's this Brett, she's this girl, oh my god, like, if I would meet them, and it's like, I meet you every day.
Yeah.
You know, like,
people are
people.
addicted to the image of it all. Like, it's just an image. It's like when you, it's like meeting famous people. Like, you guys met famous people before, like. It's like when you meet, like, you've met them, actually been able to have a conversation with them and stuff.
And you realise they're just like you.
Literally people. Like, oh, mad. Like how I met the Queen, like, a couple of months ago, whatever it was. And just literally shaking her hand and being like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And then, like, she walked past me later with a couple of her bodyguards. I was just looking at how small she was. And I was like, oh, she's just a cute old lady, like, like literally.
Like, the Queen is someone's grandma.
Fam, it's what I'm saying. It's like, actually, it's like, no. Yeah,
that's what I mean.
She's just a cute old lady, like, just
Queen's my home girl.
with a hat on, with a hat on, and like blue like blazer and skirt, and you know her little dog, and I found the bag she had, you know, the black bag. Hey, trust me.
Imagine if our podcast makes it to Her Majesty's.
I'm gonna send it straight to her. On the
email.
Well, go on, Lizzie. Yes, if you're listening in.
So, I want to give you guys the quote for this podcast, or not podcast, this episode, which is by Marianne Williamson. And the quote goes like this. Our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Jeez. You're playing small. You're playing small does not serve the world. No, it does not. There is nothing enlightening about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. Oh my days, you know? We are all meant to shine as children do. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. The Fall, guys. That is the Fall.